Good morning everyone, it's time to hit the road once more, and as you can see behind me, the sky is lovely and clear, it's blue, the sun is shining. What a beautiful day to be cycling. So I'm going to hope to do about 100 kilometres today, and I've spoken to a few cyclists yesterday and the ground appears to be flat and it's just very scenic, so I'm kind of stuck between really wanting to crack out the kilometres and just taking it easy and enjoying it while it is easy, because obviously compared to some of the mountains that I've just cycled through, this is pretty good really. But anyway, we'll take each kilometre as it comes. I'm going to stay in another campground. I think Austria is a little bit too expensive to be staying in guest houses and hotels. Although that said, if I get some work come in, I may stay in a guest house as it will kind of pay for itself. Let me just move out of the way. There's a car about to come past. Hold on. There we go. We don't really want to get run over, do we, before we've started? And what else to say? No, that's about it. I'll give you some more videos from the road and speak to you guys in a bit. Cheers for now. As I left the campsite, I cycled past this bicycle rental place, and as you can see there's loads and loads of bikes there. And this bike rental place is just one of many along the River Danube Trail, and it's really popular with the domestic market. So I imagine there's a lot of German and Austrians that come to the River Danube, to be out in the great outdoors and to do this, what is relatively easy cycle ride. Although, don't underestimate it, but it is relatively easy. There's a lot of infrastructure there. And I think that's the key. There's a lot of infrastructure. Not only is the bike path well defined, not only does it keep you away from traffic, but there's campsites at regular intervals. There's places, rest places for cyclists to stop and get some water. And, there's hotels that cater for cyclists and restaurants, and it's got everything you need. Anyway, this day was actually, well, the morning, the first 3 or 4 hours, was probably some of the most scenic views that I've had on the trip so far. Went through some really, really pretty villages. It was really quite outstanding. Some of the roads were cobbled through the villages, which was quite fun. And but yeah, the views were amazing. You've got these little churches, and then you come out to the countryside, and this is obviously grape growing area again. There's vineyards to my right and to the left. And there's also some small hills in the background as well. But each village just seems to be, kind of picture postcard perfect in a way. And along the way, as you can see, I'm passing plenty of cyclists. So there's all sorts of cyclists on this route, and they come into different categories. There's people like me that carry all their gear and they're going to camp as much as they can. Then you've got people that look like they've hired a bike and a couple of panniers. Now some of these people are camping, but some of them are also staying in guest house or hotels along the way. Then you've got others which are on supported bicycle tours, so they'll just cycle. They might just have one pannier with things that they need for the day, and then they'll arrive at a campsite, and the guys who are running the tour will put the tents up for them, and they'll stay the night. So this route is really accessible for many people. I've seen people of all ages, all fitness levels trying this, and as it's relatively flat, if you've not done a bicycle tour before and you're thinking to yourself, well, I'd like to do it, but I want to find somewhere fairly easy to do it, try the River Danube Trail. It's a Eurovelo Route 6, and it's pretty good. I think the section from Passau, which I haven't reached yet, through to Vienna or Bratislava, that's the most popular section, and it's probably doable within a week or 10 days, I should think. And of course there's plenty to see along the way as well. There's lots of castles, there's monasteries, churches. I don't have time to stop and see everything, and that is one of the downsides of cycling. You kind of feel that you haven't got time to see everything, and of course you haven't got time to see everything. I mean, if you stopped to see everything, I'd still be in Greece. I would never have left Greece. So it's always a balance on a bicycle tour as to what's more important. Is it important to see everything, or is it important to get some miles done? And you kind of come to a balance of both. Anyway, as I continue cycling along, the River Danube was always on my left-hand side on this trail. I will cross the river tomorrow and take a slightly different route. And yeah, today's cycling was really good. It was just really enjoyable. So I must explain now that this video is quite a long one, and I think it's about 10 minutes long, which means that this one-off commentary that I do, because I do it all in one take, I have no idea what I'm going to say, and I'll probably need to fill it with nonsense at some point, because I'll probably run out of things to say, won't I? But is that possible? Perhaps it's possible. So I went through this very sort of pretty village and followed this car on the way down, and it's this was obviously a very touristy place. Didn't catch the name of the village, so if anyone knows what it is, please leave a comment below and let me know as well, and then maybe I'll write it up. I'm planning to write blogs about all of this. There's no way that I can do it while I'm actually out on the road, I've decided. You know, putting these videos together is just too much work as it is. So when I finish the tour, probably for the next month or 2 months, I'll probably put a post a week about the bicycle tour and put about cycling in the different countries and put my routes there. So I'm still recording everything on the GPS, which is on the Garmin Connect, so I can share my routes with people that might be planning to do the trip. And yeah, but that's something I'll have to do once the tour's finished. And I'm aiming to get back to the UK for about the 22nd, 23rd of July. But I've started to realise that I might have underestimated, is that even a word? I might have underestimated this part of the trip. I've got about 1,700 kilometres left to do, and every day that I'm doing so far, I'm just short of my schedule. I'm focusing on this. You see that sign? It says Spits. I was going to make like a really hilarious Spits and Swallows joke, but yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. It's quite childish, isn't it? Anyway, if you have got a Spits and Swallows joke, leave it in the comments below. Yeah, we like that. Saucy. Nice. So cycling through, lots and lots of pretty buildings, and yeah, like I said, this section was really scenic. I did notice at about 12 o'clock the wind just started to pick up again, and of course it was a headwind coming in my direction once more. And it's one of my pet hates, the headwind. I can cope with mountains, I can cope with long distances, but the headwind just seems to cut me in half. It just makes everything just, I don't know, it's just so much hard work. And I know some people can just seem to cycle through it like a machine, and no, it just cuts me down in half. So I average, when it's you know, when it's a flat road and the going's good, I can get around 20 kilometres an hour out of the bike, you know, but when it's a headwind on that same stretch of road, I might be down to 15 kilometres an hour. And if you've got a whole day of cycling ahead of you, that's quite a lot. So of course the River Danube is always around, and you can see plenty of boats on there as well. This one's just a stationary boat, but I think either before this or a little bit later on you'll see a huge cruise ship. And these cruise ships go up and down and ferry people, you know, down the Danube. And I think some of these people also come off and do sections of cycling as well. On the Danube, I also saw some people kayaking. So again, maybe it's possible to kayak from, say, Linz down to Vienna or Bratislava. There's a weather vane. Now you can see how that's floating in the wind, and yeah, it's going the wrong way for me. So what that was doing, the wind was catching me and turning me into a weather vane. And then I stopped and saw these like wooden statues. They're kind of like mini Ents, I think, if you know what the Lord of the Rings. You ever seen the Lord of the Rings? Everyone's seen that, haven't they? Anyway, these like mini Ents. Austrians are crazy, aren't they? Why would somebody do this? Why would somebody put all these little mini Ents here? But they're pretty cool. There's one that was doing a karate kick on someone. That one there. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd walk back over to the bike and then give another view out over the Danube again. It's a really impressive stretch of water, really. Saw somebody water skiing as well today. I've not seen anyone swimming, so in Slovenia the water is obviously quite clear, and the Big Berry campground I was staying at, plenty of people were swimming in the water. I've not seen anyone brave enough, or stupid enough I guess, to swim in the Danube. I'm not sure what the pollution levels are, but maybe they're not so great anyway, which is a shame because it's a lovely stretch of water, a nice hot day, it'd be nice to have a little dip. So, carrying on, there's a cruise ship. And this is huge. I mean, it's not as big as the ocean-going cruise ships, obviously, but yeah, must have had hundreds of people on that ship, I think. So, heading towards a campground today, and like I said, I seem to have been cutting the day short. I mean, okay, today was still 80 kilometres, and when I said it was flat, I still managed to do 450 metres total ascent. But I know deep down if I keep cutting days short like this, it's going to have a knock-on effect sooner or later. So at some point I need to get a couple of 100-kilometre days in and just get the job done, really. But I don't know, I just seem to be lacking that extra bit of motivation just to carry on and push on through. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And by the looks of it, the camera got a bit blurry towards the end as well. So that's it for this vlog post. If you liked it, please thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz, and I will speak to you next time. Thanks very much for watching. See you later. Bye.